Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Jason Mackey's First 10, quick hit podcast to get you ready for the day. You can see by what's behind me where I'm at and what we're going to talk about a lot at PNC Park following a 1-0 Pirates victory over the Los Angeles Dodgers. A lot of good to pull from this one, starting with Jared Jones, of course, pitching against his hometown team. Going to talk about that. Going to talk a little bit about Jack Suwinski, the bullpen, a night gone right. Also going to hit on some pregame storyline stuff. Tucupita Marcano banned for life. Got some reaction to that, as well as a Steelers topic I want to hit at over at OTA's Cam Hayward talking. But first, I want to remind you that we're sponsored by the North Shore Tavern. You don't have to be a baseball fan to love it there. The interior is wall-to-wall Pirates. There are appetizers, entrees, cocktails, and, of course, steak and seafood on a sizzling lava stone. Open every day. The North Shore Tavern across from PNC Park is Pittsburgh's home for steak on a stone. You know who loves it over there is Jared Jones. You may have noticed, actually not because he is on a Sportsnet Pittsburgh episode talking with Hannah Mears from there, which, by the way, Jared Jones caught some grief for not ordering steak on a stone. If you see, he ordered like a, I don't know, not a flatbread, but a burrito looking thing or something that's not steak on a stone. How do you not get steak on a stone? But that's all right. All in good fun. I'm sure he will have a different answer. A wrap, I think is the word I was looking for. But in any case, he was dominant tonight against the Dodgers. There was some talk, and I didn't totally understand this about, did Jared Jones regress? Coming off the start against the Tigers was not good. I'm sorry, I said this morning on a Radiohead or yesterday morning on a Radiohead, I was not selling the Jared Jones stock whatsoever. Think he's going to be fine. He absolutely was. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, hit a batter, 11 whiffs, 100 pitches, 60 strikes. Get into more specifics there in a second, but just a fantastic outing from him. Was all around the plate. The changeup looked really good. That's something from Jones we haven't seen a ton, probably the best it's been. He also was pumped up. You probably saw that from the first couple of pitches against Mookie Betts, against Shohei Ohtani. Hit 101 plus 3 times in the first inning, the 3 hardest thrown pitches of his career, according to Pirates PR. Jared threw 9 pitches of 100 plus. This is a team that he knows well. I wrote yesterday, I didn't think he was going to be awestruck by this, and he certainly was not. I think it just brought out the competitive fire. It's exactly what you want to see in a pitcher. I'm sure Paul Skeens today will want to outdo him. But you could definitely tell he was fired up, and just a little bit of traffic early on, not a whole lot. Jones ended up retiring the last 9 he faced, striking out 4 of the final 5. Just a really, really dominant outing. And again, it just sort of takes me back to something that I think about a lot with this team. The starting pitching, the horses. I was listening to the game on the radio, listening to the game with my radio on. It sounds like a new Pirates generation. But no, seriously, talking about a possible playoff series for this. And I had this thought during the game that, yeah, it's scary. It's scary if you think about Jared Jones, Mitch Keller, and Paul Skeens in some order in a playoff series. And throw in Bailey Falter. I mean, that's a darn good starting rotation. Now, the crime of it is you didn't get there yet. The crime of it is you're under 500. The crime of it is there are other holes in their game that you certainly want them to improve. But my goodness, Jared Jones was outstanding tonight. Skeens has been outstanding as well. Keller, Falter on down the line. Like, you've got the hardest part figured out. Get the rest going. Some not so encouraging stuff offensively tonight. O'Neal Cruz took some of the worst swings I've seen him take in a while. Missing by a lot. Whether that's mechanical, whether it's mental, it's probably a little bit of both. Did not look good. Rowdy Tellez swung at a pitch that bounced before the plate. Not great. Now, Jack Suwinski homered. He was back. It was funny. A lot of the conversation around Jack returning was, it's too early. They needed to let him work on stuff. Well, he comes back here and homer. So who the heck knows? But so it was sort of out of necessity. A whole bunch of pregame moves. Michael A. Taylor goes on the paternity list. G1 Bay gets hurt. They bring up Peguero. They bring up Suwinski. Ben Heller is here. Jose Hernandez is down. Whatever. I mean, it's an opportunity for Suwinski. It is. I don't love bringing him up so soon when you don't really have much of a recent track record in AAA. But crazier things have happened. I do think at some point he will figure it out. The other at-bats for Jack were not great, but he did homer. So give him that. But they, once again, just need to see more offense, need to see more stuff like tonight, honestly, outside of, you obviously want to score more than 1 run, but this is, in a way, the type of game the Pirates should want to win, should be able to win, playing reasonably clean baseball. In the bullpen did a very good job tonight. Enough probably can't be. Their best fielder might have been PNC Park, honestly, I loved the visual of Aroldis Chapman throwing his glove down, thinking he gave up a 3-run homer to Teoscar Hernandez, but it actually stays in the park. Only goes 380. So, yeah, that was actually something Derek Shelton said tonight. Our bullpen helped us a lot. But, hey, Holderman, Chapman, Bednar, exactly the way it should go. You're able to match up a little bit. Some lefties at the front end of the Dodgers lineup. Chapman took care of them. So, you got to like that. Just have to be able to do it more. Before the game and earlier in the day, Tucupita Marcano, as you know by now, it was announced that he had bet on baseball, bet horribly on baseball, like a 4-point-something success rate there. And I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but somewhere close to 400 bets that had MLB ties or something like the baseball bets. And then there were like 200 some with MLB ties. It gets down to like 25 that involved the Pirates. Either way, I mean, obviously there was some Pirates tentacles to this. Was asking a couple guys before the game about this. Some of them declined comment. Again, it's tough to get guys to talk about this. A large part of them just don't want to say anything. I get that. One guy who did, though, I found interesting, Martin Perez. I went up to Martin. I've really liked getting to know him. He's an honest guy, straight shooter, and he was not happy whatsoever about what Marcano did. He knows Marcano a little bit. I didn't even realize this when I approached Perez for an interview, but Perez had played winter ball in Venezuela, and Marcano's dad was actually an assistant coach on the team. So there's some loose connections. He met Marcano last year, but he was not the least bit happy with how this represents Latin players and also just kind of what it says about baseball players in general. I said, quote, "Why are you doing something to hurt your career? We all know it's not a rule that started last year. It's been there forever. It ticked me off because if something always happens with Latin guys, it's time for us to do different things. It's not hard to follow rules, etc." You can get the story on postgazette.com. A little bit of a column, a little bit of a reported thing, just kind of giving a shade of what the reaction is. And I struggled columnizing on this topic because I'm thinking, like, what's my opinion going to be? That gambling's bad? Paul Zeiss wrote an excellent piece about MLB sort of being really close, and really all sports leagues. You kind of there's some double standards here going on where you're embracing gambling, but you're pushing it aside. Very easy to call them hypocrites. And I appreciate, like, and mostly agree with Paul's opinion. But I'm sitting here thinking, like, is there anything to columnize individually off Marcano? And not really. I mean, I hope he gets the help he needs. Honestly, like, after talking to a few former Pirates about some of his habits in a casino, the thought has entered my mind that he could be a compulsive gambler. I mean, if you just need to be in a casino and you need to be doing that sort of stuff and you need to be betting on baseball, I mean, what could govern your mind to think that it's okay to do something that if I get caught, I'm banned for a lifetime? That's not small. That's not insignificant. You really need to, like, what? I'm not going to get caught? No, nobody will ever find out that, we bet on games. The one rule that you cannot break in baseball, nobody will ever notice. I don't understand that. I don't understand what would possess somebody to do that. So, I mean, that's what tells me or suggests to me that maybe he has a problem. And in that case, I hope he gets help. But I wish there was a little bit more of a separation between the gambling stuff and Major League Baseball. Some of what's in Paul's column, I think, sports leagues are willing to take the money, but they don't want to deal with sort of the collateral damage that comes with it. This is one of them. Baseball players, like anybody else, they're human. They're going to suffer from this stuff if it's that readily available. Again, it's still on Marcano. I'm not making excuses for him. But anyway, just some stray thoughts that come out of my head with that one. Want to wrap up with a little Cam Hayward talk. I didn't totally understand what was happening. I was over at Steelers before this game, and Cam talked. Not sure what exactly changed to get him to OTA. He talked about that a little bit, and I guess he felt comfortable enough. I just didn't hear an answer that really explained it. Maybe he just felt like he was missing out on things. There isn't really any progress on the contract situation. I guess he and his representatives have talked to the Steelers. Great. But Cam's looking to play 3 more years. And I mean, maybe he showed up to make that demand public. I don't know. If I'm the Steelers, I'm unmoved. As somebody who's sitting here just observing the whole situation, I am unmoved. There's nothing I've seen in the Cam Hayward saga that tells me that I'm going to budge off my marks. I mean, he turned 35 last month, entering the final year of his contract. He's coming back from a gruesome groin injury. And this really grabbed me in Ray Fittipaldo's story. I would urge you to check that out. But he had double-digit sacks in 2021 and 2022. He had just 2 this past season, plus 33 tackles. You miss that much time, 2 surgeries for a major groin injury, and like those numbers, I'm sorry. I like Cam Hayward a lot as a person. You're not top 5 at your position with that sort of production. It's unfortunate that that happens going into a contract year, but I don't blame the Steelers for just magically saying, oh, you want to play 3 more years at a rate that's top 5 at your position? Well, yeah, let us pay you that. Like they would be idiots to do that. So, I mean, it's good he's in camp. It's good that they're at OTAs. It's good they're talking. I certainly want a positive and amicable resolution to all of this. I just don't see on what planet would it make sense to pay somebody like that. And then sort of his argument, the best I heard in what he said was comparing this to powerlifting and how powerlifters age and how he might age. You lost me. I'm not following. I mean, it's a groin injury that caused him to miss a lot of time. The right groin muscle tore off the bone. He was out for a long stretch of time. That doesn't have anything to do with powerlifting. That has to do with you having a very serious groin injury that required 2 surgeries, which I'm sorry you did. That stinks. I hope you're healthy. But if I'm the Steelers, I'm not going to overextend myself. I don't care who you are. Much better players have left. We've been over this. So in any case, we'll see how that changes things. He was there. He did talk. And they wrap up OTAs this week, I believe, minicamp. Next week, we'll talk more about that. We'll talk more about the Pirates. In the meantime, make sure you like and subscribe. You can get this content and stuff from all the rest of our Post-Gazette writers back here, same time, same place, tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.